Hello, welcome to Closing Ceremonies for Code.Jam. Thank you for participating in our weekend. We hope you had a lot of fun, that you learned a lot throughout the weekend. So thank you for coming. I'd first like to start by just thanking our sponsors, 123 Load Board, Broadsign, MiHoYo, Giro, Maya HTT, Dracar Capital, Capital One, and FDM. Thank you so much for your support of our event, for giving our participants the opportunity to increase their skills, to explore different areas of programming that they didn't know, and to just experiment with creativity and improve over time. Thank you. So we're first going to announce our top three in the general category. So we have Team 2, Gamers, Team 23, and Team 32, AM Cubed Innovation. Congratulations, guys. So how this is going to work is we're going to hear from our top three teams, and then our judges are going to evaluate based on the presentation that's happening right now. And then they will be resorted based on the judges' evaluations on who's going to win. So this gives the opportunity for all three of the top teams to be judged by all the judges, giving the fairest score. So we're going to start with the demos. We're going to start with Team 2. Yes, we're going to start with Team 2. Which one is Team 2? Give me 1 second.
Have you ever been looking for a study buddy or a class while you were late for your course? Well, wonder no more. We've got Chat Area, an application that solves exactly that problem. We got the inspiration for Chat Area during COVID, and we thought that with the reintroduction of more and more social activities, it'd be kind of hard to find people around town and meet with strangers without extensive friction or networking, etc. Chat Area aims to solve this problem by allowing you to chat with people nearby with very little friction. So you can talk to strangers, look for a new player for your a missing player for your sports team, or just ask where a specific class or big building is on campus. Let's move on to the demo.
Exactly. Thanks, Gabriel. We're just going to move on to the demo. And can you just confirm that you see my screen,
Yep.
Edwin?
A second.
Perfect. All right. So you first log into the, of course, login screen, where you can just input your name and start chatting. Once you're here, it will be redirected to the correct position where you are and give you a little emoji to locate you. And actually, Gabriel lives pretty close to me and says hello. Hi, Gabriel. There you go. And I'm doing great. Thank you. Great. But yeah, that's basically what the app allows you to do. Just chat within the map to anyone that's pretty close to you. And it turns out Gabriel lives pretty close to me. I don't know if you can take it away.
Right. So I'll just talk about some key components and features that we had to implement to make all of this happen. So one of the functions we had to implement in the backend was to find a way to understand the position of the user in another user's vicinity. For now, it's around 100 meters of radius, and we had to program functions to do that. Another one was to continuously poll the locations of the active users so that we can update them on the map. And the third one was to make sure that the front end looked good and that all our markers were placed correctly on the map with the text that are aligned. And how we did that was using a JavaScript tech stack. So for the front end, we used the React Native framework so that it could be compatible for mobile and iOS devices. And in the backend, we used Node.js with the sockets, WebSockets connections, so that the chat applications could be done. All right, and for the backend, we used a Node.js server with socket WebSocket connections for the messaging applications. So what's next for chat area? On a more business point of view, we could integrate virtual assistants in establishments such as parks and museums, where it's a lot harder for these businesses to offer personalized services to each individual. So that would be great if someone wants to know more about a certain artwork or know where a landmark in a park is. So that concludes our presentation.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Team 2. So if you're a judge, please fill out the judging form with your evaluation, and we'll give you a moment for that. Next, we'll be hearing from Team 23. Alrighty, I think that's enough time, more or less. All right, so now we'll be hearing from Team 23. I think you are muted.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I just want to thank you all for this amazing privilege to talk to you right now. So we're just gonna, me and my team, we're just gonna, me in this case, but we're gonna present to you our project that we did for this hackathon. So if I quickly share my screen, I'm not sure if you can actually see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. Okay, excellent. So yeah, essentially our app is called LiveGuard. It's a special app that basically what it does is it uses multimedia. So basically, you know how you use Teams, Zoom, Discord, whatever. It essentially takes in that, essentially creates a barrier, a censorship barrier, for you to have a more professional and family-friendly environment. So if I quickly go over through our team members, so of course I have myself here, Edward, we have Mandy, we have Frederick, and we have Chengyu. We're all first-year students. Some of us are at Université de Montréal, and others are at McGill. And so essentially, like I said, this app uses multimedia applications, and we use the input of your camera and microphone to basically apply censorship to it to make sure that the output that we give is proper and responsible. So we have here professionalism, which really is something that we wanted to do and keep it okay. So it has to be professional, always on target, and avoid distraction and surprises by censoring what's obscene or what you would not want to have in a public streaming environment. So whether it be like on a streaming platform or in a meeting, business meeting, and it can also be, or at school, I guess. So family friendly, again, you want to be respectable. So even though you might be a little bit too emotional, you want to keep it safe and you don't have to worry about it. And of course, automate this whole process. This is the whole goal of building a software for it. So again, safe environment is extremely important. This was our focus for our project. And essentially how it works is that it functions based on two modules. One of them is a video module where it applies your censorship on your video camera. And also the second one is on your microphone. So the censorship, the visual one uses your visual camera and essentially blurs out gestures that might be obscene. For example, I have it here in this example, and you see that it also works on Zoom. We also tested it out on Discord, Teams, Twitch, and YouTube. So if I can, right now I even have it installed on this specific camera that you're seeing me at the bottom left. So if I show you my finger, you'll see it censored. If you want to see more about the microphone, I really encourage you to look at our dev post. It's a little bit more explicit. So, I don't want to have an accident here and maybe spill out some words that you might not want to hear. So how do we build it? Like I said, this project was built in two parts. So we had the audio and visual parts. The audio basically worked by taking your microphone input, it processed it, it uses the Google API, Google Cloud API, the speech one, so that we can basically understand the contents of it. And it does this all live, so it's really fast. It has to be really fast to have some sort of like real-time effect because we're using it in a live stream or maybe like in a conversation. So that was again very important. And then we had to adjust the by detecting what's illegal in the microphone input, we basically hide that word or that legal sentence and keep the rest normal. So basically, what would you hear is that I would talk normally, and then if I said the word, it would just mute myself for the time I say the word and then turn back on the audio. There's also the visual part. This incorporates machine learning. So essentially, it tracks my hand and determines the position of my hand on the screen, its approximate area that it takes. And we have a special model that is trained to identify specific gestures. What's really cool is that this model is very dynamic. So if you were, for example, to include another gesture, that would be very possible. And we have a tool, if you go on our GitHub repository, there's already a tool that allows you to add new signs. A big part of this project is also managing the inputs and outputs. So essentially it takes the inputs from your microphone and it processes it, same thing with the video. But the problem is that you can't just directly bring it back to those same devices. You have to create a virtual device. And this is how I was basically capable of connecting my camera that you see right now on this live stream. So we use something called VB Audio Virtual Cable, which is a virtual microphone, and we also use OBS Studio to create our virtual webcam. There's more instructions on our GitHub if you want to install it. The technologies, I already mentioned some. The main program was built in Python, but it uses MediaPipe to detect hands. We also have machine learning with sklearn. We also have pandas for training our model, OpenCV for using the camera and webcam and to recognize stuff. We have the Google Cloud to work with the microphone and detect the contents of it. And we also have NumPy as a general math library that allows us to manipulate images and essentially do the pixelization that you saw. So a few challenges. I'm not going to go through it. I'm going to go through it very quickly. So again, we had the problem with inputs and outputs. We weren't entirely sure how we were supposed to do it, but again, we used virtual devices. We also had problems synchronizing in the beginning the text to speech with the actual microphone input. So it kind of like censored before or after the word, which was not okay. It's kind of fixed now. There's more improvement that can be done, but it works. And finally, because we have a dynamic model to recognize hand symbols, well, it creates a lot of problems because it might not be that precise. It might not be, that accurate in general. So we had to figure out ways of creating something that is accurate enough. If that's meaningful for you right now, we have a model accuracy of about 85%. It can always be increased, and that's what we're planning to do in the future. So what we learned is really how to work with audio filtering. That was brand new for us. We never touched it before. Video filtering, we touched a little bit, but we never actually worked on giving some sort of output. So that was really an interesting product. And finally, combining them both together was also a challenging piece because we first developed the microphone and then the video, and we had to combine them both together. So that was something interesting. We did the full circle, and that was something that I guess every single team member learned about. What's next for Lifeguard? So one of the big features that we want to implement is a GUI. So you can actually have because the current app that we have right now is a start the app and it works. You can also modify some files or modify some settings that we have set up, but it doesn't have an official GUI. So that's the next step. Also, another feature that we really want to implement, but that would require a little bit more work, is a DMCA protection. If you're familiar with live streaming, you may know that platforms such as YouTube and Twitch have copyright protections. And if you infringe it by playing a music that has copyrights on it, it basically either mutes your live stream, or it simply not bans your account, but it puts strikes on it, which is not good for your revenues and stuff. So that's pretty much it, our presentation. I hope you thought it was interesting. We really worked hard on it. We didn't sleep. So I really think it's worth it. And if you're really interested about more about it, you can always contact us on Discord. And there's also the dev post and the GitHub repository that can be interesting for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Team 2. Alrighty, now judges, now is your time to fill out those forms. We're actually going to time 1 minute this time because I have no concept of time. So 1 minute, and then we'll be back to move on with team, sorry, that was team 23, move on with team 32. That was team 23, just for the forms. Alrighty, we're back. So now we'll be hearing from team 32. So just finish up those forms for team 23. And team 32, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Beautiful. I'm just going to share my screen.
Alrighty, let me be sure to add it.
There you go. Is that working?
Give me 1 second. I just see Edouard's as an option. I don't see it.
Oh, let me do that again. Share screen. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
You're not seeing it. Oh, okay. Just a second here. Yeah.
It
Okay. What we can do is, if it would be okay for you, is maybe just if you go to our dev post.
Sure.
And maybe I can do the it's not ideal, but it's something, and then we can go on from there.
Sure. If you have another teammate that wants to log into the stream and try, if you prefer that, up to you.
If we could get 5 minutes just to maybe discuss it, that would be perfect.
Sure. We can give you 5 minutes. Yeah, no
Perfect.
problem.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty, so no good closing ceremonies without technical difficulties. So in the meantime, we'll be hearing from one of our sponsors, 123 Load Board. So Greg, the floor is yours. I think you're on mute, Greg, because I can't hear you.
Yes, I just unmuted.
Beautiful.
Hi,
All right,
everyone.
go right ahead.
Thank you all. This was a great experience for us. We hope you guys enjoyed it too. I mean, we met so many great peoples with great ideas, all different ideas, all challenging. And we thank you for participating in this event and in our challenge as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. Alrighty. Let me see. Let me see what Team 32 wants to do. Nod Team 32 if you are ready to take action. Shake your head if you want more time. Okay, one more time. All right, so I think we'll head straight into announcing some of the subcategory winners in that case. We're gonna start with, let me see what's on my slides. We're gonna start with our subcategories, so the Code.Jam subcategories. Alrighty, so fake drum roll. All right, so for the best use of modern technology, we have Team 22, Q and AI. Congratulations. You'll be contacted later for getting your money. Woohoo. All right, for best UI, we have Team 27, Stitch AI. Congratulations. Woohoo. All right, for most entertaining, we have Team 18. Congratulations. You'll be contacted. For best enterprise tool or small business tool, we have Team 34, PBN Jam. Congratulations. All right. And then for the Code.Jam's most popular project, so this is what's most voted on DevPost, we have Team 29, Study Time. Congratulations. And for our best beginner project, we have Truck Matcher. Congratulations. Alrighty, now I guess we'll go straight into the sponsored challenges. I just want to check Nabil. Are we nodding? Are we shaking our head? Oh, we're ready. Okay. So we'll hold off on the sponsored challenges and hear from Team 32. Alrighty, so can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. What'd you decide? Do you wanna
Yeah, so I was able to fix it. It was just an issue on my side. I'm asking to share the screen. I think you can
Perfect.
accept
Oh
it
yes,
now.
I do see your screen. All right, beautiful. I will take
Beautiful,
myself off the
perfect.
stream. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, just before starting, I'd like to thank you, the judges, and everyone here watching, for giving us the opportunity to present our application, our web app. On the behalf of AM Cubed Innovation, here's Save the Date. Save the Date is basically a web application which is designed for students and people who have PDFs with dates and they'd like to store them. Save the Date. The goal of Save the Date is basically to every beginning of the semester, some of us students spend a lot of time going through the PDFs and the syllabuses that our teachers gives you to basically put them into our calendar, put them into an agenda, anything that would help us get organized. And this sometimes can be very tedious when it comes to examinations, when you have a few of them, when you have paper assignments that you'd like to date. And so we made Save the Date to be able to give students the opportunity to save those few hours that you might be spending doing that, and by basically just drag and drop the PDF of the syllabus, and Save the Date would handle the rest. So here is the main page of Save the Date. This is our homepage. It has been designed using a parallax structure, which is basically just a way to do the web page that would increase flowability. It makes it a little bit better, and it adds some flow to it, and it makes it very interesting for you to just go through it, and it's also very user friendly. So at the bottom of the page, we have this little about us statement. It's not really technical in the sense that it doesn't contain any information about how we actually made the application. We figured that most of you guys who were about to use the application, if most students wouldn't really care about the backend and how the front end is made, right? You just want to know how it works and how it can help you in your daily life. So this is just a little preview. We also have here on the top, we have a variety of buttons that you can, options that you can choose from. And here in the contacts, for example, I have my colleagues who helped me produce this web application over the weekend. The other main important part is our upload PDF here, where we can basically, where the user can basically drag and drop the PDFs. Now, I'd like to show you basically the way that it works. First of all, we're using an AWS API to store the PDFs that the user is sending in to us. This is already a PDF that has been sent, and I'm going to show you now what happens when the user tries to upload another PDF. So for example, if I try to take my 222 PDF syllabus and I try to submit the file, it sends a query to the backend, and just on the side, the website is deployed locally on my computer, which is why we're seeing the query response in this manner. As we can see here, we have uploaded one PDF, and if we go back to our AWS bucket, we're going to see that it has indeed been uploaded to our bucket. Beautiful. Now, at this point on, the user would basically have uploaded the file, and the goal of Save the Date, the heart of it, is that the user would put the PDF into the application, and Save the Date would directly input the dates and the important information from the PDF into their Google Calendar. Now, to do this, we have to use a few things. The first thing that we have to think about is the backend. The backend, as I've said, we're using Node.js to basically create a local server to host both the files and to download them back into our local computer, where we're afterwards going to be able to run our Python files to basically parse through the data and then get the important dates. The goal is to not take all of the dates from the PDFs, only the important dates. So examinations, PP assignments, WebWorks, for whoever knows what that is, and then send them back to the Google Calendar. So here, Save the Date, to show you guys what it would look like. For example, this would be the output of the Python file on the backend. We would see basically PP assignment in January 14th, so on and so forth for every date on the course specific syllabus that you sent. Now, the next step in all of this processes is basically to simply send it back to a Google Calendar using the Google Calendar API. Now, I think this is the best way to introduce our challenges that we faced during this hackathon this weekend. As for most of us in this team, it was our first hackathon and our first time working on a web application and using APIs. The Google Calendar proved to be quite challenging to use for us, but it was an extremely interesting learning experience. As you can see here, I have a few dates, and one of the dates we were able to put into our calendar was this one. Oops, I'm sorry. Was this one using the Google API. Unfortunately, we weren't able to upload all the dates from the web application because we would basically be overflowing the calendar, and we would be getting bad error response from the backend. But what I'd like to say is that we have the main components of the application working. The user can upload a PDF and return the dates, and this is the main feature of it. Now, what's next for Save the Date? Save the Date right now can take your PDF file, parse it, put it into CSV files, which contain all the tables with all of the important dates that you have in your syllabus. The next step is to bring it a step further, to increase the amount of features that we have on the application. The first one being, the first big idea that we have is we could add a feature that would basically take also all of the ISBNs of the required textbooks, for example, and that would output it to the student, or the students basically of the class, and that would give them a very legal website where they could download the textbook for free, for example. Another example would be to also add websites linked to our application, basically like Rate My Prof, where we would basically directly load the data from Rate My Prof and use machine learning algorithms to maybe give certain priority to certain courses to determine the level of difficulty, and maybe to send to the students dates and of when they should study for exams, how they should get ready, and how to prepare for different courses. Now, Save the Date is at its first stages, and it's a thing that works very well for 36 hours. And me and my colleagues at AM Cubed Innovations are very proud of the project that we have developed over the last 36 hours. And this project really represents certain scalability, as we can definitely implement an infinite amount of features when it comes to reading documents using AWS Text-to-Act and implementing features on the Google Calendar and making students' life easier. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd like to thank you guys once again for listening to our presentation, and hopefully you have appreciated it. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, thank you, Team 32. Great presentation. Alrighty, now we will be going into our sponsor challenge winners. So we will first be hearing from 123 Load Board. Rafi?
Yep, thanks, George. Can you hear me?
Yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So thanks, George. So we had a lot of good submissions this year, and unfortunately, we cannot award the prize to everyone. We had to pick 3 from the list, and it was not an easy decision, I tell you. So even if your name was not on the list, I hope you enjoyed it. And the categories we were not the categories, the criteria we picked to judge on were the results, the technological creativity, such as logic and architecture, the performance of your code, including how complex the code was, and the overall creativity. So the winners for this year, in third place, we have Truck Matcher. In second place, we have Bit Ocean. And in first place, we have No Clue. That's the name of the team. I'm not saying we have no clue. So congratulations to everybody, and I hope you had fun.
Alrighty, thank you so much. All right, now we will be talking about the Broad Sign Challenge winner. Broad Sign's not with us today, so we'll just be announcing the winner. And the winner is AdStar. Congratulations, guys. Woo. Alrighty, now we are venturing into the general category. So for the judges that if you haven't finished submitting your form from the last team that presented from Team 32, please do. We'll be tabulating the results over the next few minutes. So just bear with us for the next minute and a half as we check the results, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back, guys. Thank you for your patience. So let me see the winners. Just pulling up my slides. Perfect. Alrighty. So in third place, we have Gamers. Congratulations, guys. Woohoo. And then in second place, we have AM Cubed Innovation. Congratulations, guys. And then in first place, we have Congratulations, guys. Alrighty, so we will be contacting you about your prizes. Thank you again for a lovely weekend. This was so much fun to run. I hope you had a lot of fun as a participant. It was great to see a lot of you here in person. We hope to see you next year, and thank you so much. Take care.